it is imperative that you call in or send a message. Don't just sit down on the sidelines, please. Call in or send a message, all right, to either corroborate or to disavow.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
With Jude on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, so we'll start out with the numbers to call: 08179230002, 08179230007, 08179230002, 08179230007. At Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is where you'll find us on Facebook and on X at Nigeria Info PH. All right, this is where you'll find us on Facebook and on X. And please take a stroll down to the lane that is WhatsApp with the number 0809-030-6416, 0809-030-6416. Nigeria 3, good morning. Hello, Port Harcourt. Welcome, please.
Good morning. Hello, Port Harcourt.
Welcome.
Yeah, my name is Chief Comrade. I am Braid.
Welcome, Mr. Braid.
Thank you very much. My first eyewitness report is Chief Mba Street off Moji, Amoni. The road is pretty bad, and I want the government to pay urgent attention to that road. And Obama in Wakreke, from Abloma to Oba is not up to half a kilometer. But as I speak with you right now, before they were using hand pulling, but right now there is nobody to even pull that boat. For them to go to the village is a very serious and a very big nightmare to them. And when there is a burial, there is activity in the community. You can see how they suffer. And also Buguma Ring Road and the shore protection. I'm also telling you that Buguma, as big as Buguma, we only have one major road. And that road is also very tiny. That if there is an activity within Buguma and its environment, we suffer a lot. There is no road. So I'm appealing to the governor of Rivers State, the sole administrator. Please, Milad, look at this gray area and give urgent attention to it. The last but not the least, Sports Institute Isaka. That's Isaka. The Sports Institute has become a place for cockroach, rats, reptiles that is now having the sports over there. So please let the sole administrator take a tour to Isaka and see things for himself so that he can revive that Sports Institute Isaka. It will be a tourism center and it will also generate revenue for the state. Thank you, and God bless you. I remain Chief Comrade. I am Braid.
Good morning to you, Braid. Thank you very much for your time and your efforts. Nigeria 3, good morning, please.
Good morning, Jude.
Good morning, please.
Yes, I can. Calling from Ubumi.
Good morning, Mr. Ken.
Jude, everything in Ubumi community remains as it was. But the good news I will let you know is that they had mounted 25 standing of what do you call it? Solar system.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
Are you getting me?
Yes. Sounds like
yes. According to the information that I had, they have mounted 25 standing of a solar system.
That's is it the street? Is it the street lights?
No, it is only in on our side road, the road which I have been telling you that lead to Aura.
Okay.
The road that gives us the source of economic activities. But even that the road is not reached to the extent where it's supposed to be, but it is only 25 standing. It is not yet through the tide road. It only stopped at the Ubumini station, at Ubumini Junction. As I'm talking to you now, the solar system, every night, it gives us way to see along that particular road.
Okay.
Even if we don't have internal roads and substantial electricity installation, but this alone is what we have for how many years now, since the administration of Rotimi Amechi. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. I would love to hear that those kind of things become more expedited. Having roads, particularly roads that are safe. So if there are solar lights on those streets, on those roads, it's obviously going to make, journeying through or journeying on those roads, a bit safer, or not a bit, a lot more safer. It has to be said. But thank you. I should have asked if he knew the source of these installations. Was it the NDDC? Were they donations or something? Was it a community effort? I should have asked. It seemed like he was in a hurry. But anyway, we'll get more stories like this throughout the hour. It's now 9:24. I have just about a few seconds before I get onto a commercial break coming up shortly. All right, once again, 0809-030-6416 is where you'll find us on WhatsApp. 0809-030-6416. Please send us your stories, send us your reports to that place, to that number on WhatsApp. The phone lines, we'll come back and get your calls in just about 3 minutes. 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0003. We'll be back shortly. And for those of you who have been trying, well, keep trying. The One Play Raffle is daily, and then on Friday is the jackpot. We'll be sharing out 1 million. So even if your ticket didn't come through for Monday or Tuesday, it is still viable for Friday.
The show continues after this break on Nigeria Info.
It rained yesterday. I had to wade through water at about 5:30 p.m. Also close to 6 o'clock yesterday on my way home, right? And I once again was met with the stark reality that is the Nigerian story. It's not just one story; it's a lot of stories. All right. So this is my eyewitness report. Now, from my stop close to the office, right, on my way home. The road is not great, and the walk down it's just about 5 minutes. Yeah, about 5 minutes walk. So a lot of the times I just walk down because start to get my energy levels up. Do some count my steps. I like to count my steps and just have a think. Because when I move, I do a lot of think when I move. That's why I like to be outside. And then because it rained heavily. Right, and I know when you know how some roads when it rains the water covers the road. There's a flood, it makes motoring challenging, particularly when the roads are not great. But this cornerstone area, right, over the years I have noticed, right, that there's always a good reason for the transporters, the tricycle operators, keke operators, right, to habitually increase their fares on the flimsiest of pretexts. So yesterday, I got there, I overheard somebody say, if you are going along, 300 naira for a ride less than 3 minutes. 300 naira. Now, I know that, yes, the road is bad. You have to go through some puddles and come through. But like I said, the rain had stopped. The water levels had dropped. And true to the fashion of most Nigerians, when they got there and said 300 naira, people just started walking. They weren't walking because the money was too much. I like to believe so. They're not walking because the money was too much. They're walking because it does not make sense. There's a road further down, the Mbaraja Road. That place is bad. Now, if you are charging you sums to get through that place, a lot of people understand why. A lot of times they don't complain. But for a 3-minute drive, it rained, so you charge 300 naira. And this is the same story that can replicate itself almost anywhere in Port Harcourt. Wherever there's a bad spot and the rains come, yes, the water is going to damage the vehicle, whether it's a car, whether it's your keke, but you don't get to see this spike in prices frequently with bus drivers, with taxi drivers. But with the tricycle, increase the rate 50%, 25%. Just let's add money. Let's add money. Who are they? They're human beings. Yes, the cost of oil has increased. The cost of ball joints have increased. The bearings, yes, they have increased. But you don't fix these things every day, do you? Anyway, that was my eyewitness report. More from you on Hello Port Harcourt.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
Hello, Port Harcourt with Jude on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
92.3 Nigeria Info, 017-923-0002, 0817923-0007. Zion is on the line from GRA. Zion, good morning to you, please. Oh, dear. Apologies. All right, let's get to the next caller, 92.3. Good morning. All right, WhatsApp, 0809-030-6416, 0809-030-6416. Okay, all right. Then at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is where you will find us on Facebook and on X at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH. Well, John is on the line. Let's say hello to John. John is speaking to us from Oyigbo. John, good morning to you, please.
Yeah, good morning, Joe.
Good morning, Mr. John.
We are Africans and we are Nigerians. So everybody wants to take advantage of every opportunity that comes before him. Look at what the governor was doing. Free buses was assisting a lot of civil servants and common man in Port Harcourt Street. It is only in Port Harcourt you see that kind of free services rendered by government. What did they do? They have fought this man so much that you can imagine what is happening to him. Even Lagos is that has a lot of what they call population and issues. They don't give free buses, but in Port Harcourt we have it. And dude, I want to also draw your attention to one of the most senseless, or how would I even call it, government agency is the Standard Organization of Nigeria. All of these goods that are skyrocketing, what are they doing? What are that body doing? I think it's the high that in fact they should scrap that SOM. Because it does not represent anywhere for the common man. Every day things keep going up. They don't do anything. Nothing. Where they go, they collect money, they go back to the office.
Well, are you sure you're not confusing or conflicting the roles of the SON and the, let's say, Manufacturers Association of Nigeria? And there are a few other bodies that should help, with the pricing of things, commodities. FCCPC, for example.
It's SOM, Standard Organization. Manufacturers, their own issue, manufacturers. And SOM look at the standard and how the pricing goes. They look at their value. Even if I'm not correct, whichever agency that is responsible for this pricing should be scrapped because they are collecting salary and doing nothing.
They really do nothing. But yeah, your sentiments are very clear. Now, John, you sound very incensed. Now, apart from foodstuffs, and if I'm not mistaken, the report we had about 2 months ago was that the price of some food commodities had started to calm down. Not drastically, not to 2003 levels or 2001 levels, but there was some decrease. Now, what item did you recently experience that you saw that the price had gone up arbitrarily? Vehicle parts.
And you can never get the original. You go to Ikoku, they'll tell you this is the original, this is normal. Why would in a same community they will tell you buy original and normal? Does that make any sense? So what is the SOM doing? That somebody who can produce a normal part for you with a cheaper price and original one. I don't know if you understand.
Now we are hitting the nail on the head. Now we understand where you're coming from with the SON criticism. Yes.
But to say food stuff, I've got that. Dude, when last did you buy pepper?
Yes, pepper has increased, but that's pepper. But I hear other things have come down.
What about yam? When last did you buy yam?
Don't tell people are buying yam. Hello, John. Oh dear. All right, Zion on the line from GRA. Zion, good morning to you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. King.
Good morning, please.
If you are there that the prices of commodities are now coming down, how come the landlords are not reducing their house rents?
We need to ask them.
Okay. iWitness report more of Mr. Jude. To me, I will even see this as SOS. The level at which teenagers are now getting themselves into drugs. The ones they smoke, they sniff, and they drink is a call for concern. I was privileged to engage a psychiatric doctor here in Port Harcourt a few weeks ago. And she challenged me to come to the psychiatric home. I went there. And what I saw with my eyes, I couldn't keep quiet. If I may ask, Mr. Jude, when last did you go there? I know for now, you are not meant to answer. I'm sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
Yeah. For now, it's under construction renovation by the Governor Simon Laifubara administration. So most of the patients now are coming from home. And they have visiting days where they come with their patients. Mr. Jude, if you look the street of Port Harcourt, we see a lot of young people who are already roaming the street, mentally deranged. These are ones that their people can no longer take care of them. Normally, they used to be at the psychiatric home, but for now, they are not there because of the renovation and the reconstruction. Now, flip to the other side. She told me this. These patients you see, is not all that are spiritual. Less than 5% of these ones you see here are spiritual cases. The rest of them are drugs related. Ask her to repeat that. She said yes. When they run through their bloodstreams, it contains what? Drugs, nothing more. And they are already insane.
Okay.
When you go around River State today, you see a lot of young boys. Check their lips. Talk to them, please let them smile. And you see their teeth. Drugs everywhere. I want to use this medium to call on. No, I think you should start from the parents. From the parents. Even though it's related, to a large extent, you ask, do they have parents? Of course. They may have relative or guardian. Before I will now talk about the church. For now, I don't think churches have programs that engages young people the way we benefited growing up as children in. Let me stop here, Mr. Zion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zion. Magnus is on the line for Mile 3. Magnus, welcome, and thank you for your patience.
Mr. Jude, good morning to you.
Good morning, Magnus. Thank you very much, please.
Thank you. Very quickly, there are two accounts I want to draw the attention of the store administrator to. One is the continuous attack of innocent river people by herdsmen. Just yesterday in Sogo, in Kana LGA, several persons were allegedly killed by these herdsmen. I want to draw the attention of the zoo administrator and the commissioner of police to, as a matter of urgency, look into this thing so that it will not escalate. And secondly, floods are coming, rains are coming every day. If you go to strategic places in the state, you will see that we have waters around. I want to appeal to the zoo administrator to set up committees that will look into flooding in the state, because, like we know, it will definitely affect people living in the state, especially people living in the Orashi region of the state. It is very important.
The Orashi River area. That's very true. Very true. Magnus, thank you very much. It's a very disturbing complaint, when you get to hear reports about clashes of herders and all that. It's very disturbing. And whenever I sit down, I have to say this, whenever I sit down, and I'm discussing this with some security operatives, the question has always been, to what end? Both sides are part of the food chain. So why does it seem to be some animosity? And I think maybe a lack of education and I think some form of tolerance level has to be, as it were, inculcated. A lot of people don't quite understand, boundaries and limits. But anyway, the security agencies are advised, or rather they've been informed. Hopefully we can have investigations. I have no official reports to what the last caller just made mention of, but I'm very sure inquiries and investigations will be made. All right, so to WhatsApp now, 0809-030-6416, 0809-030-6416. Now, hello, Jude. My iWitness report is on the state of the government-owned schools in River State. WAEC SSC starts on the 25th of April with those on common subjects, while the main papers start from the 2nd of May. When someone says on common subjects, looking at those people who are into maybe commerce or woodwork, or those kind of courses that a lot of people don't really get into. Now, as we speak, the River State government hasn't supplied the necessary materials needed for physics, chemistry, biology, agricultural science, food and nutrition practicals. In my school here in Okrika, Since 2013, when I arrived, the Senior Secondary School Board would claim that they have supplied materials for WAEC practicals when they give 20 test tubes and 5 beakers, 1 bottle of iodine to a school with 70 WAEC candidates and send the same quantity of items to another school with over 500 candidates. Does that make any sense? I mean, who would supply or pay for the shortfall in student numbers? In case they claim they regularly supply educational materials to school or have supplied materials this year, challenge the Rivers State Ministry of Education to your show to supply you the log for each item, for each school, for each year. Now, I know that the sole administrator will order supplies for materials soon after the outcry. Please let them consider the number of candidates of each school before they purchase materials they intend to supply. Else, the parents of the candidates will pay for that shortfall. And this is from a public school teacher in Okrika. This is a very big issue. This is a very big issue in this state. Every examination cycle that comes through, we will be inundated with reports of teachers demanding, or schools demanding the students or the parents to pay some fees, 2,000 naira, 3,000. Exams are coming through. And of all the parts of the examination, the practical bit is the one that a lot of people get to spend a lot of money on. Now, if you didn't get his comment very clearly, let me explain and let me expatiate further. You see, if a school has 200 students writing, or rather sitting for a physics or chemistry or biology practical examination, right? As a government school, these things are meant to be supplied to the students. Now, if of those 250, this report says they supply 20 test tubes and 5 beakers. So if you have 200 students, or let's say you have a school that you only have 100 students who are science students who are going to write SSC or WAEC or whatever, right? So there are 100 of them, and what is supplied is 20. So that means for an examination that ought to be done individually, you now have a group test. That's what it basically means. And if you're having a group test, it basically means that, people who are going to cheat going to increase. You'll probably get somebody to do one test, and then all of them will replicate what that person has done. In a sense, this issue of cheating, and underhanded actions or activities in schools may just be related to the inefficiency of the government. It may just be. Because the teacher said, the last comment said, who's going to pay for the shortfall? It's the parents. You have 200 students. We only have 20 beakers. We, the school, cannot buy the 180 beakers. So the remaining students will have to buy their beakers. You have to buy your test tubes. You will pay for it. Sad. Truly sad. 92.3. Hello, Port Harcourt. Good morning, please. Could you speak up? We can barely hear you, please.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Z.
Good morning.
Okay, I'm calling in respect of the last caller. Yes, what you said may be true, but then my question is, these principals who collect money from students, what do they use it for? Everything cannot be students. Sometimes, government do what they can do. Schools should do what are they contributing to the system which they are in, which they are benefiting from. They take money from external. Which school in Rivers has 100 students? Some of those students are external candidates. They take money from them, and these exams are for free. Government pay for it. I do what I know what I'm telling you. The money they are making, what are they doing it for?
Okay, so let me ask you. See, this question you raised is very valid for this conversation. So let's agree that these students are external students, right?
Yes, most of them are external.
Yeah. So let's agree that they're external students. Let's agree that. But hold on. They paid for the exam.
To who? To the school, not to the government. Government even pay for them for free, for the standard that the students are taking money for. Government pay for them for free.
Well, yeah, you.
Everybody that is registered in the school as a candidate. You know why some of them?
Oh dear. Hello.
Why are they using that money?
Okay. Now, you raised a very good question, and it's one of those questions that we have been trying to battle for the past 2 or 3 years. Whenever we get complaints on Nigeria Info, why are you, as a school principal or proprietor, demanding money from the student? The government said they paid for the examination. The government has paid for the practical materials. So we now have two sides here, and this is where I think proper investigation from the side of the government, because our job is to go and find out what we see. So when we see and we report, and several of these reports have come through in the past, some teachers will tell you government has not signed. Remember, was that this 2025, 2023, or 2022? There was the impressed scandal here in Port Harcourt, where teachers from different public schools kept saying they have not received their imprest. Yet the government kept saying, oh, we have released the imprest. And the question is, to whom? If you release the imprest, how come we're not seeing it? Now that we're talking about it, I remember there was a school, I can't remember what area, where, the report had it that it was the principal that was even from her own money giving the security man stipend from her own personal account. Because obviously they needed somebody to be opening the gates and, as it were, making sure that during the school hours, the children are within the bounds of that particular school. A lot of questions, really. Like somebody said, state of emergency really should be on the educational sector in Rivers State. There have been a lot of great ideas, great actions carried out by the governments in the past. But tying all of them together to have a seamless, or as it were, a gold standard in the state has been wanting. Okay, all right. Good morning, Jude. Selector says they see the handwork of electricity vandals on the airport road between the stadium heading to the airport roundabout. The neighboring communities have been in total darkness for years before the recent intervention of by Grant Ofor. It will never be well with these vandals. This was the project that was single-handedly done by the man of the people in the Omagua community. The first two generators that powered the street lights between the stadium and roundabout were decommissioned and removed, paving the way for this nefarious act and sabotage. Well, it is the biggest problem that Nigerians right now are facing as regarding their electricity power sector and communications. Vandalism. John is on the line from Bonnie. John, good morning to you, please.
Yeah, good morning, Jude.
Yes, good morning. John.
I wanted to say something concerning the last caller.
Yes.
You see, when you talk about external candidates, for them to be able to write the exams with the government school, meaning that they went through all registration process. So, the material should also be made available for them. Is it not so?
It was seen. But he asked, but they paid. Who did they pay the monies to for the registration? Was it not to the school or was it to the government? Now, your argument is even if they paid to the school would eventually submit said names to the government so that they know who and who is writing the exam, isn't it?
No. You look at how this thing is done. If you want to write, if you're in a private school and you want to write exams in a government school, what you do at SS2, you have to leave. So even if you're not going to the school, or you should go through the school, register, so your name will be among the list of the students in the school. So when government will come to pay for the WAEC, government will take that list and pay for WAEC for all of them. So they're included in the list. The problem is our education system has its fault already. Just as you said, they should declare a state of emergency in our education system, in our schools. If not, so how can they have 100 students and they bring materials for only 20? Look at the last one you just mentioned. He talked about what they call it, to provide for the teachers and other things. They don't provide anything for them. You see the students contribute money for them to buy these things. What are we not talking? My brother, the country is just in a mess. I don't know if we will talk about all of this.
Well, that's why we keep talking, so that, as progress is made in one area, the others are not neglected. Well, thank you very much. Your stories still keep coming through. We'll be making references to them, and we're putting as where reporters to task to find out what is what as the weeks and days go by. Thank you very much. My name is Jude Omamegbe. Well, when we come back, we get to Jude's Corner this morning. And since we're talking about females, it's WCW. Two interesting conversations from Jude's Corner and the 11 o'clock hour. Stay tuned.